Hi, team. I'm Fitz Koehler, one of your race announcers and host of the Big Sur Marathon Show. And boy, am I excited. This is this is probably the most luxurious, magical race weekends on planet Earth each year. And boy, has it been a long time since we've been together. 2019, I believe, was the last time we got to do this. And I've been counting this, not only the days, but the seconds until we're back. In fact, I harass our race director, Doug Thurston, regularly with notifications that say 144 days until me, 35 days until me, just to warn him that I'm coming to Monterey on Thursday because I'm so excited to get there. And we're so excited to see you and welcome you into our Big Sur family. If you've already been a part of it, you know what you're in for. If you're new, boy, is this going to be a very special weekend. So I'm going to get things rolling by introducing the other half of Team Noisy. I should say the better half of Team Noisy. He's got a big voice and a beautiful smile and lots of charisma, Mr. Rudy Novotny.
I'll accept the other half of Team Noisy.
The better half. And this is your race because not only have you been announcing it forever, but this is where you have your marathon PRs, you big weirdo.
Yeah, it is a weirdo thing, but yeah, this is the weekend. It's just so amazing. It'll always be something that will be very, very special to me, no matter what. First ran it in 1986, and then again in 87, and then in 88, 89, 90. Anyway, I'm as excited as you are, and that's rare.
Yeah, but this is worth being excited about. I'm very pumped to introduce the man who has been working behind the scenes for years now. On one race, it's taken a few years to bring it back, but he is one of the titans of the running industry, and we really respect him and admire him, and I just love him to death, Mr. Doug Thurston.
I'm a Titan.
Yeah, you are a Titan.
Right. I always wanted to be a Titan.
Remember the Titans.
I know, right? Don't forget me. Remember the Titans.
Mm-hmm. How excited are you, Doug? This has been a long time coming, 3-year gap between Big Sur marathons.
Yeah, 1,000+ days since we've had our last marathon. And some years it feels like it was 1,000 years ago. Other times it feels like it was just last week. So, but we're ready to go for this weekend.
Yeah, I know. I'm really excited. In fact, I would encourage you to consider having a Big Sur International Marathon weekend every week. So
how hard can that be, right?
How hard could that be? I'm going to put it out there. Folks listening at home, wherever you're watching, use your comment section. You can say hello. You can ask questions. And what we'd like to ask everyone to do right now is use a comment section to tell us exactly what race you're participating in this weekend. So introduce yourself. All right, Doug. So we've got a lot of stuff planned, and I like to use these pre-race instruction show to start at the start. So let's start with how many races are this weekend? How many races do we have?
Only 6.
Okay.
Right. So we have the namesake race, the 26.2 mile Big Sur International Marathon. Then we have a 4-person marathon relay, same course, divided up into 4 different legs. We have the 21 miler, we have the 11 miler, we have the 12K, and we have the 5K. So only 6 this year. Normally we would have 7 because we would have a large youth-oriented 3K on Saturday morning, but we're not having that this year.
Okay, so 6 will do.
Six will do. Yeah,
it'll do. All right, and we've got some friends piping in. Ashley Owens, her first marathon length race this weekend. We're excited. Thanks for choosing us, Ashley. Denise Heinen, marathon. Daniel Gratzer, marathon. Dan from Boston. Dan, did you just run Boston yesterday? If so, congratulations. We have a big turnout from Boston to Big Sur. Full marathon with 4 other Mercy Home Hero friends for Jennifer. And Rita Lozano, her very first Big Sur marathon. Doug, what does the Boston to Big Sur program look like this year?
Yeah, we have a little under 300 people that are taking the challenge of running the Boston Marathon, which, as you pointed out, Fitz, was just yesterday. And then 6 days later, they will come back and run the Big Sur Marathon. So coast to coast, 3,000 miles away, and 2 iconic marathons in a 6-day stretch. So we have a special little program for those folks. We give them some special swag, a special Boston to Big Sur finisher medallion, special jacket, and we have actual performance awards based on their combined time for both their time in Boston and their time in Big Sur.
You know what I say to that? I say, oh my quads.
Exactly.
Oh my quads.
Oh
Yes.
my quads.
Yeah.
Ouch. But man, those Boston and Big Sur folks, they show up and they are hardcore, and they will likely run faster in Big Sur than they did in Boston because they're weirdos, right?
Well, many of them do, either by choice because they hold back a little bit at Boston,
Yeah.
or they just find Big Sur, with its net elevation loss, to be a faster course sometimes than Boston can be for a variety of reasons. But the races are similar in some ways and dramatically different in many other ways.
Yeah. We're, I don't know. I've only done one of the races, and yours intimidates me. Hopefully I never have to run it, Doug. That means you fired me. If I'm running Big Sur, it means you've kicked me off the microphone. So please don't do that. All right, Bill Capella. We can't wait to see you, Bill. It's going to be very exciting. What a beautiful place to reunite. All right. So let's start at the start. First day of the expo is Friday, correct?
Yeah. Friday, we'll have our traditional Runner Expo at the Monterey Conference Center in downtown Monterey from noon until 6 p.m. And people get their bibs, they get their race shirts, they pick up their bus pass. Again, 6 different races. So there's 6 different check-in areas. And, I think there's 11 different bus pickup locations on race day for all these different races. And then there's vendors and different activities. There's our happy hour lounge with adult beverages and some fun games, because this Friday is Earth Day. So we're a very earthy event. We have a very high sustainability mandate because of where we are in the beautiful area along the coast in Central California. So we'll be doing some Earth Day scavenger hunts in the expo. Our cupless pledge, we're expecting 4,000 people to take the cupless pledge, and they'll receive a Hydro Pack speed cup, a reusable silicone cup, to reduce cup waste on the course. So it's activations like that that'll happen at the expo on Friday.
And Doug, hasn't the event been consistently recognized by Council for Responsible Sport for all of the green that goes on with the Big Sur Marathon?
Yeah, we have a very comprehensive greening program. We hand sort every ounce of trash that's collected on the course and at the start and finish lines, as well as at the expo. When folks come in, they'll see every kind of trash area is staffed by volunteers with compost, recycle, non-compostable, 3 different areas, a volunteer right there to help you put it in the right area. And then that's all sorted off site. So we usually have between a 97 and 99%, reuse, recycle, or compost factor. So we're only generating 1 to 3% of our total volume is actual trash. We will finish this entire race with a couple of bags of trash.
That's amazing. That is incredible.
Yeah. And one of the things that I like is it's seamless for the participants and users. So when I show up, I'm just throwing stuff away. I mean, of course, they're telling me where to throw it, but I don't feel like I'm doing a lot of extra work to support your green efforts. It's seamless for the athletes.
Well, we want to make it easy because we have all seen a recycle can that's filled with everything, right? It's like, is that recyclable? So now we have a volunteer right there wearing some gloves that will help you so that you can actually learn as you toss, I guess. And then race day, again, there's a team that is walking the entire course behind the runners, picking up all the goo wrappers, picking up any other waste. And that all goes back to this large sorting area at the finish line where everything is sorted.
Okay. So Friday, we've got vendor. Oh, what kind of vendors should people expect this year?
Well, as with most expos, the expo world, like so many other things, has changed a lot in the last 2 years. So the number of vendors is not overwhelming for this event, particularly for our size of event. And also a lot of the vendors don't have supplies right now. There's still, supply chain issues, but there'll be, local running stores. There'll be some of the national, fitness and apparel companies, whether it's a belt you need or Hoka shoes, who is our official sponsor. Of course, we have a very large official race merchandise area, and there'll be products and services of interest to runners. But it's not a gigantic expo. We don't want to make people think that they're going to walk into something like they did at the Boston Marathon.
But it's great. It's always great. And your official merch is usually fantastic. So when I ran Boston, I came and I spent way too much money, and I didn't feel bad about it. And your gear is kind of that way too, because Big Sur is this iconic bucket list race. So I think people are going to be very happy with the official merchandise booth.
Yeah, everybody should buy one of everything. I mean, come on.
Why not, right?
Right.
And it goes to a great cause, right? We're a nonprofit organization, so it goes to help fund our grant programs to other community organizations and helping promote health and fitness, particularly for the youth in our area.
That's right. That's right. And you might look very weird if you wear your medal month after month, but you could always wear your Big Sur jacket and hat and T-shirt, etc. So
that's right.
That's right. But be braggadocious on this one. Oh, we're getting some love, Rudy. Rick Chen, thanks for having the best announcers. Look at that, Doug.
We agree.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Rick, we'll see you soon.
Rick's doing the 12-miler. Super excited. Oh, and then Holly is hoping there are smaller sizes, shoes included.
I don't do the ordering, Holly. Sorry.
Right. But Holly, I wear the smaller sizes, and they always have plenty of smaller
Shop
sizes.
early, shop often.
That's right. Get in there early. That's what Friday should be there for, is to get your gear. If you're in town, go straight to the expo and buy the stuff you like. All right. So Friday, basic expo day. Saturday, what time does the expo start?
9:30. We start a little bit later on Saturday. And so expo is 9:30 to 6.
Okay.
Then the Saturdays when we have our clinics, including one Fitz Koehler who has a clinic. So we have 5 different educational, informational, inspirational, motivational clinics throughout the day, including for our relay. We have a couple of clinics for our relays. It's such a complicated event for us with a point-to-point course and things like that. So then we'll have our happy hour Saturday afternoon, and then Saturday night is the pasta dinner for those who have purchased tickets to the pasta dinner.
Okay, so let's talk specifics. Who are the speakers? You have 5.
Yeah, so we start off with our relay clinic at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Then at 11 a.m., Denise Sariel, who is the Marathon Whisperer, is what she goes by. She's a coach and has run marathons on all 7 continents, but really she helps runners of all abilities get to the finish line in one piece. And she's written a book, You, Me, and 26.2. And so she's going to be talking about some of the things that she's learned along the way to help people enjoy their race, no matter what their fitness level. So she's going to be at 11 after the relay clinic at 10. You're testing my memory here because I had to move from my regular office. So I don't have any paperwork in front of me, but hopefully I'll get this close. It's all on our website too. Then we're having our clinic about how to run the race I think we go to you next, Fitz, at noon. I think you're up at 12 noon with My Noisy Cancer Comeback, Fitz Koehler. We'll be signing autographs and talking to all of our great mini fans there before, during, and after her clinic. So Fitz, you obviously know what you're going to talk about at 12 noon. So that'll be exciting for you to share your stories along your road back from recovery. Then at 1 o'clock, we have the tips on how to run the course with some of our grizzled vets who have done all 34 previous official Big Sur marathons, as well as 5-time local champion Adam Roach, who will really give you some great insight into how to run this challenging 26.2 mile race, as Rudy has done before. And I did it many, many years ago myself. 30 years ago, I guess I did it.
Wow.
I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
youngest participant ever.
Right.
Then at 2 p.m., we have a clinic with two amazing women elite athletes and business professionals, Magdalena Boulay, who is the president of GU Nutrition. So she is the president of GU. Also won the Big Sur Marathon, has won the Western States 100 miler, is a 2008 U.S. Olympian in the marathon. So she's going to talk about her journey. And then Stephanie Bruce, who just was the second American female yesterday in Boston, ran 2:28 in her final year of professional running, the Grit Finale Tour that she's in for 2022. So Magdalena and Steph are both going to be on the stage at the same time, talking about balancing work life and home life and professional life. They're both moms, and it's just going to be, they're amazing speakers. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be moderating that one myself. I was so excited about it. I said, well, I'm only going to do it if I get to be on the stage. So I'm going to moderate that. And then at 3 o'clock, we have Jocelyn Rivas, who has an amazing story, right? 24-year-old Latina who broke the Guinness World Record as the youngest woman to reach 100 finished marathons, and certainly the youngest Latina to do that by many years, but the youngest woman to finish 100 marathons. So she has an amazing story, and her clinic's going to be moderated by a local TV news anchor, Aaron Clark. So that'll be a fun clinic at 3 o'clock.
We know her very well. She did that at Los Angeles Marathon.
Yeah, she's quite a story, and she just ran her first Boston yesterday too, as one of the honored female participants, as Boston celebrated 50 years of official female participation at the Boston Marathon. They brought in kind of some ambassadors, and Jocelyn was one of them. So she finished her first Boston Marathon yesterday. Then we'll have a repeat of the relay clinic, and then we go into the pasta dinner for those who are lucky enough to get seats. There's still some available, so get tickets as soon as you get to the expo. You have 4:30 or 6 o'clock seating for the pasta dinner.
And the youth tickets are $25 each. That's for children 6 to 12. 13 and up is $40 a ticket.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but I ate a lot when I was 13, right?
Right. Well, you know what's so interesting is I got the teenagers, and my son, he's still a teenager, but I can't ask for the free cookie anymore. And really, at that level, he's eating more than most grown humans on Earth. Yeah, you should charge extra for late teenage boys.
Maybe we'll have a surcharge for growing teenagers. Yeah,
yeah, right.
It's just an idea.
Okay, I'll write that down and see. Let me write that down, Fitz. I got my pad of ideas right here.
Please do. Note to self. I know Doug's got these special ways about him of dismissing bad suggestions.
No, Fitz, I give your ideas the attention they deserve.
That was exactly the quote I was going to follow that up with.
Boy.
I was teaching someone else that today, someone that was harassed by a bully. And I said, a brilliant, handsome, elegant man in California says, I will give it the attention it deserves.
You know, she was pointing to you, Rudy.
Yeah. I don't recall any of that, but I'll take it. Hey, Doug, is Stephanie Bruce running Big Sur?
No, she's not running Big Sur. She's here just to watch and enjoy it and watch her husband run. Right. Ben Bruce, who ran 2:27 at Boston, and Ben is challenging for the B2B overall title. So he's running Boston and Big Sur, and should be a great race up front because we also have Jordan Trope, who won our last marathon in 2019, and he just ran Boston in 2:24. So he's coming to run Big Sur. They're both going for the combined Boston to Big Sur male record, which is 4 hours and 51 minutes. Imagine that, 4:51 for 2 marathons in 1 week on both coasts. Can I make my hands do anything more? So that's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
So expect to see Ben Bruce and Jordan Trope, as well as local runner Adam Roach, who didn't run Boston, so he might have a little fresher legs, battling through the course this Sunday.
Awesome.
Super exciting. A lot of good competition. And I just have to mention that the women's battle yesterday for Boston extraordinary. Watching
I
them-
watched that last night myself. I had, recorded it and watched, even though I knew what happened because of all the social media and everything throughout the day, but I had to watch it because it was like a boxing match.
Yeah.
They just, they would just give blow after blow and down to the last 100 feet, literally. And that was really exciting. We'll have a great women's field here too. We have a couple of 245 level women, none of them who did Boston. So that's a nice thing about one of the nice things about our race. We don't have prize money. So sometimes we don't know who's going to show up to run because they may not even contact us. Jordan in 2019 didn't even contact us, and he came and ran 225 and won the race. And just took off right from the gun. And everybody's like, who is this guy? I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. So it turns out he's, quite an accomplished runner, and then went on last fall to break the Guinness record for running 3 marathons in 3 days, averaging 2 hours and 30 minutes. So he's got some wheels under him for sure.
It's exciting.
And don't I recall that he's military also?
Navy.
Well, he's a orthopedic surgeon at Walter Reed Hospital.
Oh, wow.
In Bethesda, Maryland.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
What's a man who has it all? He's kind of hunky too. I know you guys probably weren't going to go there, but
well, his wife Hannah is also ran Boston, and she'll be here running Boston to Big Sur as well. So Hannah and Jordan Trope.
Well, Hannah, what a lucky lady you are, Queen Hannah. Slay, my. No, I mean, if he an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah, for at Walter Reed.
It should be illegal. And so listen, we're talking about all the speed here, but the reality with this weekend is we have a lot of people that are terrified of meeting the cutoff too. So we've got some extremes. And if you are one of the people that would be super worried about finishing on time, I'm with you. You are my people. We are the same, and we're gonna get there. Okay, so Saturday we have extra stuff. We have the clinics, and I think everyone should check out the clinics. I can say that my clinics that I teach at Big Sur are always my best attended clinics of the entire year, and I present all over the country, but you guys do a great job promoting them, and I feel like the Big Sur runners, our athletes are very interested in coming to check them out. So please do.
I agree.
And you bring in great speakers, which is why they're well attended. People want to hear what the folks have to say. Pasta dinner. Now, do we have a shakeout run Saturday morning? Is that
there is one? It's not a very large one. We just, because it's a non-permitted event, so we haven't publicized it much to the general public because we just can't have hundreds and hundreds of people show up.
We need to keep it down to 1,000 or so.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But it's on the recreational trail, so a bike path alongside Monterey Bay, right outside the expo, which is in downtown Monterey. Beautiful Monterey Bay. So we'll have some personalities leading folks at 8:30 on Saturday morning. Okay. So there's also another one from a nearby retailer, Fleet Feet, just 2 blocks away. I think theirs are going to start theirs at 8 or 8:15. So you'll see hundreds of different people out there running Saturday morning. Some have started in one of the official shakeout runs, or some people are just kind of doing their own shakeout run. But the official Big Sur Shakeout Run starts in front of the conference center, in front of the expo at 8:30 on Saturday.
And how far is it?
Probably no more than 3 miles. It'll just be an out and back along the rec trail. People can go less, they can go more. But we'll have a few, Ben Rosario, the coach from Hoka, Northern Arizona, who has helped coach our VIP and Boston to Big Sur teams. That's included with their packages is some coaching plans. He'll be out there. We'll have some other celebrities out there as well.
Okay. And for those of you who have never done a shakeout run, maybe this is one of your first races or your first event ever. Shakeout run is supposed to be easy peasy, just a way to, get your legs moving. You can walk it. You don't have to feel pressure to stay with superstar runner guy. You go as slow as you want. You run as little or as far as you want. It's supposed to be relaxing and enjoyable and not intense at all. So
Great place to get selfies with other runners. Great place to meet other runners. And obviously, it's just a great time to shake your legs out, see how you're feeling, and enjoy Monterey Bay, which you won't see during the race because we're on a different part of the peninsula, the Monterey Peninsula. So you'll see things in the shakeout run that you won't see during the race.
Does it go towards Lover's Point?
Yeah, we'll go out and back towards Lover's Point.
Now, does
Towards
everyone
Cannery Row and the Monterey Bay Aquarium, etc.
does everyone who participates in the Shakeout Run, are they required to make out with someone at Lover's Point?
No, not.
You know, what happens at Lover's Point stays at Lover's
Stays
Point.
a lover.
Just checking. You know what?
Oh.
You gotta know. This is important, hard-hitting information.
That's about 2 miles away, so that would be a 4-mile run. So that might be a little longer than what most people want to do. Exactly. Get the horn out. Get the horn out, Rudy.
Just in case.
Just in case. Always have it at the ready, Rudy.
Hey, Doug. Is the podcast with Coach Ben Rosario still on the Big Sur website?
I think it is. Yeah.
It was excellent, man. He just, he laid some tips out that he felt were pertinent as far as how to run Big Sur. And I know we're going to have the panel.
Yeah.
But boy, he really threw some stuff out there that, having run the course before a number of times, man, I was just shaking my head. It's like, yep, that's it. That's how it's done.
There really is an art to running this course because of the hills. I mean, there's always an art to running hills, but it also, as many people yesterday in Boston experienced, it's also about how do you run the downhills, both when your legs are fresh at the start of the race, because we have a lot of downhill at the start of a race, just like Boston does. And we also have some downhills in the middle, and we've got some downhills at the end. So training your body to run well and training your mind on what to expect going up and down those hills is really something that I think can be helpful. So if it's not on our website, it's either on the Hoka Northern Arizona Facebook page.
Yeah, good point on the downhills. Now, I haven't been to Boston before, but I've been clearly to Big Sur many, many times, and I've never seen so many people walking funny late Sunday or Monday going, ooh, my quads.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is a net downhill course.
Right,
so.
right.
That's so weird. That's almost rude. I gotta see, because it's not downhill. You gotta.
The finish was lower than the start.
Right.
Right. I don't
Gravity. You can't argue with gravity.
I guess so. I guess Boston was supposed to be downhill too. It wasn't. Just to be clear. Ed, we will miss you. 21 years without missing.
Yeah, it's been one of our greatest volunteers and runs, has an organization that's helped out for many years, a nonprofit. So we're going to miss you there, Ed.
We'll miss Ed. We're going to send big kisses to Ed. Okay. So we want to remind everyone, when you go to the expo, there's some special things besides your bib and your shirt. You have to get your bus ticket, correct?
Right. We, unless you're doing the 5K or 12K, which are out and back races from the marathon finish line, the marathon, 21 miler, 11 miler, and relay, all are bused to their start locations, or in the case of the relay, their exchanges. So there's no private car drop off. There's no alternate route, because there's only one route on this part of California along the coast for 90 miles. It's Highway 1. So it's closed to normal traffic except for specially metered escorted caravans, which we don't have early in the morning. So we just can't have hundreds or thousands of cars on the highway. There's nowhere for them to go and park anyway. So we bus everybody to the start line. So they need to check in at the transportation desk if they're a marathoner, or if they're a 21 miler or 11 miler, they check in where they pick up their bib, because they have fewer options on where they'll pick up their buses. And we issue those tickets so we can keep track of how many tickets we've issued for each bus location. So we make sure we don't have more seats than we have runners, or more runners than we have seats.
Okay. And then the tickets are free. You just need to kind of make a reservation for them, correct?
It's basically a reservation. So we know exactly how many people to expect showing up at this particular location, et cetera. Again, this is a pretty small community as far as, just geography and population wise. So we don't have access to hundreds and hundreds of private coach companies and things like that. We use 165 buses from about 10 different private charter companies, school districts, et cetera. and it's been affected by the pandemic. So we've had some issues getting enough buses. So we're going to double dip a lot of our buses. So we actually moved some of the departure times earlier so that we can get that bus back and take somebody to the 11 miler, for example. So we ask patience and consideration with folks. Another 15 minutes of sleep won't make a difference to you. Catching a bus 15 minutes earlier will make a huge difference to us. So please go and catch the first bus you can. Then you get to the start. It's dark. You just chill out and relax. And Rudy will wake you up on the microphone at the marathon start, and then let you know when it's time to get ready, turn in your gear check, and move into your corral and get the race started.
So I know people are going to ask this because people like to ask for special things. What if my husband drops me off at the start line? The answer is
there's no drop off at the start line.
No drop offs.
Just there is no access period.
There's no access period. All cars are stopped starting at 4 a.m. unless they have a special pass, which would be a volunteer or a resident or an employee that needs to get south, et cetera. So there's no drop off at any of the start lines.
Thank you. And then a reminder, everyone watching, the website is very thorough. It is extremely thorough. There is so much information there. And this man, Doug Thurston, he is going probably not to sleep at all until Monday or so. So look at the website instead of emailing him, hey, can I get dropped off by my wife, or what time does this? It's all there on the website. So please use the resources that were created for you and let that man do the job he needs to do to prepare for this.
Well, I appreciate that. There's also a series of informational emails that all participants should have received. They're unique to their distance, so it contains specific instructions. All participants should have received 4 already. The first one covered the expo and packet pickup. The second covered transportation and getting to the start. The third covered what you should expect on the course. Okay. And the fourth one covered what you expect at the finish line and after the race. Okay. Then tomorrow they'll get a 5th one, which is a composite of the previous 4. And they're all available on the race weekend tab on our website now, bigsurmarathon.org. So even if you're not running and you're there as a supporter of someone who is and just want to find out some information about what to expect on race weekend, go to the race weekend tab at bigsurmarathon.org, pull up the runner race instructions for the distance that you're doing, and it's a pretty comprehensive document with maps and tips and guidelines and things about runner tracking and all that information that most people want to know about.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys have done an extraordinary job providing very clear, concise information. So anyone who wants it can find it there. Okay, let's just stick with the busing because we're on the topic. Jennifer wants to know if can people get on the bus together even if they have different wave times?
No. Oh, different wave times. Yeah, well, they're talking. If she's talking about the marathon start wave times, yes, because all the marathon buses basically leave in a certain window. If she's talking about relay, then no. There's different buses at different relay exchanges, but the marathon wave times, yeah, because we want everybody at the marathon start very early, so that because we have to get all those buses down there, unloaded, and get them all off the highway before we can start any of the races and do our final setup.
Yeah. So if you're running the marathon, get on the bus with all your friends. Go.
Yeah, all the marathoners can get on any bus. Doesn't matter whether you're running it in 2 hours and 20 minutes or 5 hours and 59 minutes. All the buses take you to the same place. All the marathon buses take you to the marathon start line, no matter how fast you are.
Great question, Jennifer. We've got Jennifer Taylor. The Taylors are coming for the 21 miler next year. Next year. Yeah, you'll definitely get an automatic PR on that one. And then Doug Thurston, Caitlin Presti, race director of the Public Savannah Women's Half Marathon and 5K, says hello. And
a great friend of ours, and we got to get her out here to run next year. She's pictured there with Benji, the Wonder Dog. The 21 miler and 11 miler are kind of unusual distances, but there's a reason for that. That's the only places on Highway 1 where we can stage another start village because it's a narrow 2-lane road surrounded by ranches and private property and state parks, etc. So the 21 miler will start in a state park, Andrew Malera State Park, which has a parking lot that can, You can pull buses in and unload, and there's a large enough area to hold about 1,000 people, which is what the 21 miler has. So it just happens to be 21 miles from the finish line. It's also a great distance for those who can't maintain a 6-hour finish pace in a marathon on a hilly, challenging, often head-windy course. So the 21 miler can be a great option for them, because not only is it 5 fewer miles, but it starts a bit earlier, so they get a little extra time.
Yeah.
The 11 miler is also kind of an unusual distance, but it's because we have a private landowner who is allowing us to use his ranch and the field in his ranch. It normally has sheep and cows and goats and chickens, using it race day to host the start village for the 11 miler, which is 11 miles from the finish line. So those two distances are unique because we just had to find spots large enough to host the crowds that want to participate on Highway 1. Not everybody wants to or can do a marathon.
Right.
And of course, we don't have enough space for everybody who would like to do the marathon. So we created these alternate distances as well. Of course, the relay takes the same amount of space, except it has 3 different exchange areas. And the 12K, 5K are out and back from the finish line.
Now, Doug, are the relay exchange points the same as they have been previously?
No, we moved them. We moved them a little bit this year to find wider dirt shoulders alongside this 2-lane highway.
Okay.
So the first leg of the relay goes a little over 8 miles. Then they hand off. The second leg goes a little over 7 miles. So they'll hand off at about the 15.1, 15.2 mile distance of the full marathon course. The third leg will go 6 miles. So at mile 21.2, then they hand off to the last leg. And of course, that leaves 5 miles for the last leg to go to complete the 26-mile, 385-yard marathon.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome.
Okay, so we've jumped ahead because we were going to go in order, but we stopped going in order, and that's okay. I'm not lashing anyone with any noodles yet.
We're in trouble, Rudy.
Yeah,
We're in the doghouse.
Really?
All over the place, boys.
Okay.
But I think we finished on Saturday. So, and then we've got the busing out of the way. The busing is very important. Everyone, it's smooth and seamless. The people that have done it before have said, oh, that was no big deal. But you just have to be prepared. Get your darn bus ticket. Plan to wake up early. We all have to wake up early.
The buses start at 3:30. Some of the buses start at 3:30. So
awesome.
Oh, and for all of those marathoners who take the bus and maybe haven't been out on the course, when you're in the bus and you're going uphill, that's a downhill for when you run the race.
right.
When you're going downhill, that's
You're a bad guy.
Thank you, Rudy. No, it's a great point.
it is a
You will be driving to the start line in the same lane you'll be running back on.
There you go.
And again, we have to start early because we got to get everybody down to all these different starting lines, and we got to get all the buses off the course. So that's why everything starts early. Be early. Be early. Be early.
Be early. All right, Christina Hookie. I think it's Hookie. How do you pronounce that, Rudy? What do you think? Hook? Hookie?
Hook.
Hook. All right.
Hook.
All right. Phonetic spell that for us, Christina. We're excited for you to try your 11 miler too. We know you're going to do great. It's going to be so much fun. And we've got our incredible timer.
Oh,
Greg
Yay.
Richards. We love Greg.
South Valley Endurance, SVE Timing, does a great job. They also do the runner tracking. You can go to the South Valley Endurance link on our website, and in the emails we sent, the informational emails, to track runners on the course.
Okay, so we have an app. Is it an app or is it a program on the web?
It's a program on South Valley Endurance. This year we don't really have a Big Sur Marathon app with race information. So what's on the South Valley Endurance app is runner tracking, and then there'll be a link for race results on race day.
Okay, so folks, find that and then share the link with your grandma and your brother and on Facebook, and anyone you want to follow you, share that specific link because they're going to want to have it. All right, so the things we need to know. Sunday morning, our 21 miler starts at 6:20.
Yeah, just after sunrise, right at sunrise, 6:20, we'll start the 21 milers. That allows them to kind of spread out a little bit before the marathoners start catching them, because a lot of the 21 milers are power walkers. Some are runners, of course, but some are power walkers. Then the marathon starts in 5 different waves this year. We've gone from 3 waves to 5 waves to kind of spread people out. And our goal is to get the marathon first wave started at 6:35 a.m. And then each wave will go off after that until the last wave starts at 6:55 a.m. with the last runner across the starting line before 7 a.m. in the full marathon distance.
Okay, here's a popular question. When does the 6-hour time limit start?
Starts when the last runner crosses the starting line.
Okay.
Because our permit with California Department of Transportation, Caltrans, is they give a 6-hour window for the runners. Now we start closing the road, of course, far earlier than that, but they want to maintain 6-hour as the maximum finish pace. So roughly 7 a.m. in the morning till 1 p.m. in the afternoon. That's when the runners are. We have to be pretty firm about that, or every year we have to apply for a permit. And if we blow it and don't make our deadlines, our permit to have this event could be in jeopardy. So every year we usually have to put some folks on the bus because they fell behind a 6-hour time limit.
Okay. So let's talk about the start line right there. Is there bag checks at all of the different start points?
There are.
Okay.
There are. However, what we do recommend to people is if you have friends and family meeting you at the finish line, then wear discardable old clothes to the start and don't even worry about checking a bag, right? Bring your own water bottle or bring, something that your own nutrition, etc. We've got to get those bags all the way to the finish line, and there's no way to go around the race and get on an interstate, right? So we actually have to drive slowly past all the runners with all these official trucks and gear bags from the marathon, the 21 miler, the 11 miler. We have to pass all the runners, then unload the bags, put them in order, and get them ready for you. So the easiest way to retrieve a gear bag is from your family. So if you have somebody there, give them a bag with your stuff, wear some old clothes to the start, before Rudy calls you to your corral to start the waves, then just put that, take off your sweatshirt. There'll be volunteers there to collect them, to donate them to charity, to wash them and donate them to charity. And then you can go to the start line and get ready to go. It's not going to be super cold, so you shouldn't need that much stuff. That's really true for the 11 miler, because it's 11 milers. If you're running the 11 mile and you're, running at say under 9 or 10 minutes a mile, you're going to beat the gear check truck to the finish line. It's just the logistics of that. That's just the way it is.
So family first, then our gear checks.
Yeah.
As far as the waves go, are runners being told they're in wave 1, 2, 3? Is that on their bib?
They've already received their bib assignment. The marathoners, it's only in the marathon, and they're either been assigned to waves A, B, C, D, or E based on the predicted time that they put on their entry. It's chip timed, right? So it doesn't matter when you cross the start line. You're only going to get a net time for your actual results. So we do this to kind of spread people out a little bit more at the start because it is a downhill fast start, and we have a record number of marathoners. So we just want to give people a little extra room for a safer environment at the starting line.
And the rule of thumb, if you're running with a friend, if they are slower than you, you move back.
You move back with them. That's correct.
Anything else you want to add, Rudy, for the start line?
Well, Doug just had mentioned we have a record number of runners in the marathon. What are we talking about, Doug?
Well, yeah, I'll explain that a little bit. It's not like we doubled the size or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, we're at about 5,025, so it may be 100 more than we had in 2019, but still it's 100 more. So yeah. We have such a high demand for the race. We just want to find any way we can to get as many people to experience Big Sur safely as possible. If this is your first Big Sur marathon, you're going to find it's wow, the start line, that was so crowded, and it's it's a small area. So it's going to it'll keep you warm though, right?
Exactly.
So, and again, finding enough buses, and the finish village is crowded. We have environmental limitations to our race. There's just no doubt about it. Start, course, and finish. Other than that, we have plenty of room. But the start, the course, and the finish can be crowded at times.
Hey, Doug, I've always wondered this, and I've never asked the question. Of course, we have those limitations, and that's understandable. So we have to, and for the enjoyment of all the participants, we have to limit, for all those good reasons, we have to limit the number of marathoners. If we didn't have those limitations, based on requests for bibs, how many people could the Big Sur Marathon have running the race on any given year?
Billions.
Billions. That's exactly what I was thinking.
What? I've told you a million times not to exaggerate.
Okay. Good one, Rudy. I like that. Well, if we look at our random drawing, which is what we use now after experimenting with first come, first serve and seeing how that didn't really work when the race filled up in 15 minutes, et cetera. So based on the demand we have in the random drawings, it's about 3 times the space that we have.
Got it.
So potentially there could be, 10 to 15,000 people that would like to line up and run each year. But of course, we only have space for about a third of that.
Okay, thanks.
And buses and all that stuff.
Sure,
so
of course.
And for everyone who is running this weekend, what a privilege. It's really something you should be very excited about. And for those who are really nervous, we get it. Running a race could be stressful, but this is adventure. This is you living life really large and going out to have fun. And, there's some things in the world that are really scary. Ukraine's scary, cancer's scary. Getting together with a bunch of cool people to go for a walk or run, not scary. It's exciting. So turn any excess energy you have into excitement, because we're going to have a wonderful weekend, right?
Well, that's a good point, Fitz. There's a lot of, crazy things happening in the world right now, a lot of tragic things, a lot of sad things. The pandemic is still with us. Maybe for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, this is an opportunity to just listen to the ocean, the waves crashing against the rocks. Maybe you'll see a whale. Maybe you'll see a sea lion. You'll see plenty of birds. You'll see plenty of cows on the course, and just enjoy this amazing opportunity once a year when we're able. It's the only time that this highway is closed all year is for the Big Sur Marathon. So to run across the iconic Bixby Bridge, to experience the climb up to Hurricane Point and the descent down from Hurricane Point, the belly dancers, the taiko drummers, the strawberry station, all these different things that make our race a little bit different, unique. The tuxedo playing pianist just after the bridge. Enjoy these things and enjoy your fellow runners, because sometimes the hardest part of the Big Sur Marathon is getting into the Big Sur Marathon. So congratulate yourself on getting to the starting line. And then what happens after that is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well said, Doug. Yeah.
It's breathtaking. I've only had the privilege of driving the course, and it's spectacular. So if you have friends that are coming along with you and they're not participating, have them go for a ride. It's just, it's the best of nature.
Didn't you loiter when you weren't supposed to loiter?
Yes.
I was gonna tell everybody to loiter. So
And we
Didn't she
plan
loiter? Rudy, she loitered, didn't she?
we loitered, and we plan to return to the scene of the crime.
loiter our tails off. So listen, folks, as you run from point A to point B, at some point you will find in the middle of nowhere, and it is in the middle of nowhere. Nothing's nearby. There's fencing, and there's a no loitering sign, which makes no sense, because how did that happen? How was there a problem and they had to put signage up there? So what we do is we pull over, and then we get up and we lean near the sign, and we loiter our tails off.
It would be like
Rudy. You just can't let them go out of your sight. I tell you.
It would be like the astronauts going out into space, and all of a sudden there's a no loitering sign there.
So we encourage everybody to pause for a moment, get a selfie, and loiter. We even sometimes lie down on the ground like we're sleeping for the photos. We have a great photo gallery on Fitzness on Facebook. So go check out our loitering pictures. It's great. Thank you for bringing that up, Doug Thurston. We didn't want to miss that.
Now let's go back to the start, because as Doug, as you had said, it's really crowded. It's a real small area, and we do the best we can with the space we have. Now there is going to be coffee, right? There's always been coffee.
There will be coffee. Yes, that's one little thing I always enjoy when people think organizing a race is just drawing a line across the street and yelling go. We've got 4 volunteers in 2 separate vehicles getting up at 1:30 in the morning to drive to the back of the Marriott Hotel in downtown Monterey to the loading dock and load 65 5-gallon Cambros of coffee and hot water to then 2 different vehicles leaving at different times, driving to these, 9 different starting lines. Well, actually the 12K and 5K. Yeah, they'll actually be drop off there too. But drop off hot coffee and water starting at by the time they get there, it's about 3:30 in the morning until their last drop off is about 7 a.m. So we do that. So yeah, major thank you to the coffee volunteers.
Absolutely.
We used to provide bagels and fruit and things like that. We're not doing that this year. People need to be self-sufficient. We were just throwing away so many cut up oranges and so many half cut up bagels and stuff like that. So, I don't know any other marathon that tries to get everybody coffee and,
right.
Before the race, but we know you're out there early. We know it's dark. It can be a little bit chilly. So we'll give you some hot Joe or tea or even hot chocolate.
So Doug, that leads to the next question is porta potties everywhere?
Porta potties everywhere. Don't go in the bushes.
Oh.
There's poison oak everywhere too.
For good reason.
Everywhere, particularly after some recent rains.
Okay.
Well, that's a really pretty plant. It's got 3 leaves on
Really?
it.
What is this?
Yeah. Leaves of 3, let it be.
What is
You don't know what poison, if you're not from a place that has poison oak, look it up.
Okay.
Avoid it.
Sounds horrible. So porta potties. And then as people are running along the course, let's talk about hydration station, nutrition, and porta potties out on the course.
Yeah, there's 12 different water stations on the course. That's not a lot for a lot of marathons. So we really encourage people to bring their own hydration. Bring your vests, bring your bottle packet, bring your reusable HydroPack speed cup. It cuts down on waste, right? And particularly cups blowing over into the ocean and things that nobody wants to think about, or blowing over that barbed wire fence that says no loitering and trespassing, because then the cup is on private property. There's so much private property along the course. So we strongly encourage people to bring their own hydration. We will have 12 aid stations with Gatorade Endurance, then water, and then at the end of every station are volunteers with pitchers of Gatorade or water to help refill your personal bottles, your vests, whatever you need. But if you have a vest, you don't need to stop every couple of miles, right? You can go the entire race without stopping, which helps. Then 2 of those stations, we also have GU energy products around mile 12 and mile 19. So thanks to our friends at GU. And then we'll have fruit at some of the later stations, second half of the course. And then we have our famous strawberry station at mile 23.3.
Do you know what flavor Gatorade Endurance and GU will be serving?
Yeah, what product? What exactly?
Gatorade Endurance will be lemon lime. GU, I haven't seen the shipment. They typically send some both caffeinated and non-caffeinated. Okay. So the typical flavors you see are tri-berry, vanilla, salted caramel, and then I think they're going to have some chews, some chewable products as well.
That's really nice.
But what we also, as a marathoner myself, and now Fitz, and you're a marathoner, and Rudy, of course, is a many-time marathoner. We always encourage people, even though we have GU, bring what you know works for you, what you've trained with, and that way you also have enough of what works for you. I mean, I would take more than 2 GUs in a marathon. So if you start off naked with nothing and expect to get enough nutrition from the course, 2 GUs are likely not going to be enough. Right. So not that you can't take more than 1, but do what works for you. What the GU stations are supplements typically for what people have in their own, fanny pack or whatever.
Now, Doug, back at the expo, will there be any retailers that may have the goo product? Okay.
Yeah, there will be.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually in Boston, I leaned on a few friends to bring potato chips, but we won't. You won't be able to have your friends lining.
Your friends can't access you on the course. There's no stop signs. There's no traffic lights. There's no folks except for the few residents that are come out to the end of their driveway, or the volunteers at the aid stations or the entertainment locations.
Or cell service.
Almost no, practically just assume no cell service on the course. So no updates, no, Instagram live from while you're running. That just doesn't really happen. It's pretty remote. That's of course the beauty of it too, because you can run unconnected. You're not going to hear the chimes of your Instagram or your WhatsApp or Facebook posts being liked while you're running. Very unlikely.
Okay, now you just brought up a big point when you said connected. So are headphones allowed on the Big Sur course? And can we touch on that for a moment? Because I know we have.
They are allowed. We discourage them for a couple of reasons, but we don't penalize you for wearing them. One is listen to nature around you, for one. Listen to your fellow runners around you. Get to know somebody and say, wow, how many years have you been trying to get into this race? Well, I entered the drawing, 6 times. I finally got picked, etc. Versus, I did it the first time and I got picked right away. And then that's the person you elbow into the ocean.
Right.
So get to know your fellow runners, share your stories, swap your stories, etc. Listen to the waves crashing against the rocks. We also, you only have on one lane of a 2-lane road. And the other lane has these escorted caravans, which could be right behind you, on your right, or they could be coming towards you because they're going both directions at different times in that single lane. There also could be emergency vehicles, right? There could be ambulances, there could be medical personnel, there could be fire trucks responding to a medical emergency. And then we have bicycle escorts that help you stay on that left side of the yellow line after the first 2 miles of the marathon. Always stay on the left all the way to the finish line. Even though there's a camber on the road and you may want to switch it, you can't do it because the other lane is for live traffic. So without the headphones, that allows you to hear instructions from the bike marshals, including the mobile medical team, which is out there with defibs on bicycles, and just be more spatially aware of what's going on around you. And there's a lot of passing because all those other races are on the same lane of Highway 1.
Yeah.
So if you're a faster marathoner or 21 miler, you're going to be passing other people, and if you're a higher time runner, then you're going to be being passed. So you want to hear somebody say, coming by on your right, coming by on your left, things like that. So we don't penalize you for wearing headphones, but we think it's a better, more safe experience if you don't.
Excellent question and answer. I forgot to ask before when we were talking about hydration stations and porta potties, where are the first aid tents out on the course?
At the aid stations.
At all aid stations.
Yeah. Every aid station is staffed with a medical team of nurses, EMTs, etc. And then there's mobile medical on the course on bicycles. Again, it's not like not easy to get. There's no cross streets, to access. So this amazing part of Central California. So they'll be in red Cross type vests from our local medical provider, Community Hospital, the Monterey Peninsula, or known as CHOP. They'll be out there, and then each of those teams has a defibrillator if needed.
So help is everywhere. If you have a blister, some chafing, or something worse, aid stations, or just ask your fellow runner. If you need help wherever you are at the moment, ask a fellow runner. They will make sure you get the help you need. It's available.
Or flag down one of our official bike marshals or medical team.
Yeah. The one thing we haven't talked about too much is the 5K, 12K start is at the finish line. You just go straight to the Finish Line Festival. You park over there. Isn't there nearby parking at a school as well? There's something.
Well, one of the marathon bus locations is the Carmel Middle School, which is about a mile away. Okay. So that's That's parking for marathoners catching an early morning, 3:30 a.m. bus.
Okay.
For those doing the 5K and 12K, and there's about 900 in the 12K and a little over 500 in the 5K, there should be adequate parking in the shopping center next to the finish line or nearby streets or nearby shopping centers. Just allow a little extra time. If you don't have a car, then you'll need to probably arrange for an Uber or Lyft or a taxi, because we don't shuttle anyone to the finish line for the 12K, 5K. We don't shuttle spectators or anyone to the finish line from hotels or anything like that. So unless you're running the marathon, the relay, the 21 or the 11 miler, you're kind of on your own for getting from wherever you're staying to the finish line, either do the 12K, 5K, or to watch and meet somebody.
Yeah. And folks, we have gear check there as well. I think it's a great fun morning. You two never get to come, but
and then I know Fitz gets to stay at the finish line and announce she calls all the 12K and 5K people to the start.
That's right.
Gets them going together at one mass start at 7:35. And then 15, 16 minutes later, here comes the first 5K runner to the finish.
That's right.
And then Fitz is announcing finishers. And then Rudy comes in from the start, joins Fitz. And then we even have a few local folks who then are able to to give both of them breaks or one or the other breaks, because then Rudy also then goes on and does the awards ceremony starting at 11:30.
Doug Thurston, it's been long enough. I don't take breaks.
Yeah, right. Really. I'd love to see her take a break. She's afraid of missing somebody coming in.
I want to see. God forbid someone came through, or we would have to just stop the race and be like, Fitz is taking a break, y'all. You got to wait.
Right.
Hold up, everybody, till Fitz gets back.
That's right. Thank you very much for addressing that. And since the start is the finish line, and we're getting close to talking about the finish line, we have to make sure everybody knows how to finish line properly. Expert Doug Thurston, proper finish line protocol.
Well, again, so many things about our race are unique. And one is that you have all these different distances and speeds coming into the finish line at the same time. So it can be a challenge for the first marathoners to find their way to the finish line, even though they're generally running at a different pace than the other people finishing a shorter race, but they're all mixed in together. This is one of the few marathons, if you're a marathoner, where it gets more crowded later in the race than the start of the race. If you watch the Boston Marathon, here's all these people at the start, and then to finish, second half of the race, it's a little more strung out. You can actually get more crowded on our course because the shorter distances are on the highway. So that affects people at the finish line as well. But no matter what distance you've done, 5K, 12K, 11 miler, 21 miler, full marathon, or your leg 4 of the relay, the best way to finish your marathon is with your hands in the air, a smile on your face, and just the sheer joy of crossing the finish line and not stopping your watch.
No, this is a terrible finish line photo.
Really.
And you know what we do for the folks who blow it and they look down with a grumpy face at their watch? We make them go back and do it again.
Go back and do it again. So stop that watch 30, 40 feet later, because not only is that a good image for all of the crowd, it's a good image for Marathon Photo, our official race photographer, who's there to capture image. It looks better on TV, and you're just celebrating, what is an amazing accomplishment. Finishing one of those 6 races, no matter what distance it is, it's an amazing accomplishment, particularly after the last 2 years, what we've been through.
Absolutely. This is the ultimate yay me moment. And folks, if you can't celebrate this finish line, we're going to have to have a conversation. That's right. So we do the hands up. You can also do, I like the number 1 finger. So this is how I finish usually. And then they take my picture and then people think I won the race. So if you do the number 1 or 2 number 1 fingers, it could really throw people off.
You don't do the gator chomp at the finish, Fitz?
Oh, that's a great choice. Chomping. Go Gators. You could do, I like the cartwheel. I like the shouting and the fist pumping. There's a whole variety of satisfactory finish line celebration choices. Rudy?
Or one thing you can do is propose to your beloved at the finish line.
Go. That's
been
happened.
known to happen.
Yes, that's been known to happen. Now, Doug, we're talking about, all these people coming to the finish line, but then we've got Finishers Village. We've got that whole Marathon Village experience. And what's going on there this year?
Yeah, we turn a big grassy field into a finish village, kind of like the circus comes to town. They've been building it all week. So, of course, we have a medical tent. Well, in order, what happens when you cross the finish line? First, you raise your hands. Then you get announced, hopefully, by Fitz and Rudy. They can't announce everybody, so don't take it personal if your name's not called. There's 9,000 plus runners from all different distances. They do the best they can. Yeah. Then you get a medal, a hand-painted ceramic special, very unique Big Sur Marathon medallion put around your neck. You get a cup of water in a compostable cup, no plastic water bottles. Thank you very much. Or you have your own hydration system that you've been carrying the whole race. Then you are led into the finish village. There's a medical tent there if you need assistance. There's people scanning the finishers to see if anybody needs a little assistance. Then if you're part of our premium groups, our VIP group, Boston to Big Sur, Marathon Tours, then you kind of leave the flow and head to your special premium tent where you have special goodies inside that you paid for as part of those premiums. All the other runners, which is the majority of the runners in all the other races, will then go into the runner food tent, get a pre-packaged box of some snacks, some protein and salt-oriented snacks. It's not a buffet. It's not lunch. It's just some snacks, just a little bit to kind of get some fuel back in you. Then you kind of spill out into what we kind of call the mall, which is just the central area of this grass field. We have a new charity village for those that are running with one of our 14 official charity partners. Then we have a cheer station, an adult beverage area. We have a DJ and a stage, etc.
Is there free beer for the athletes? Or
yes, the athletes can enjoy a free beer.
Okay.
Or other adult beverage. I think we might have some champagne there, some sparkling wine. And then there's some entertainment there. We have some mascots that'll be on site. And then you just do whatever you normally do after a race, which is congratulate yourself, meet up with family and friends, maybe go get your gear that you checked before the start if you chose to do that, and just relax and congratulate yourself on a job well done.
Now, Doug, how close will that reunion area be where family and friends might be in the finish zone to meet you and greet you?
It's no more than, from the finish line, it's maybe 1,000 feet of going through the different processing. But from the end of the runner food tent, it's no more than 100 feet.
Okay.
It's a quickie.
Yeah. It's a pretty compact area that kind of, because of the different distances and people finishing at different times, it's never quiet. It's busy the whole morning because, again, you've got 5K, 12K people showing up on site before 7 a.m. until the last marathoner or 21 miler crosses at 1 p.m. There's people coming through all the time.
Yeah. I just had something and it went like, psst, it just blew right out of my ear. What was I going to ask you? It was this was probably going to be the most valuable question of the night. I'm so sorry.
Well, I'll just say a little bit more about what happens at the finish line, and maybe it'll come to you, Fitz. One is there's a merchandise tent for those who want to buy a finisher shirt or a last chance souvenir. They do take credit cards, so bring that with you or have your friends or family there treat you to something special. There is, of course, an info desk, a lost and found desk, etc. And then there's the post-race shuttles. So if you walked out of your hotel to catch a bus or drove and parked at one of our larger areas that feature free parking, then you can get a ride back from the finish village back to wherever you caught a bus that day.
I remembered what I was going to ask. Is there still VIP opportunities for purchase if somebody wants to do that now?
Only if you're already in the VIP program can you buy friends or family ticket. You can't upgrade to VIP at this point.
Okay. And then the sad story, let's talk just a little bit about the Boo Boo Bus. The bus that will take people back if they're not meeting the time limit. So every year, I think this is actually one of the most exciting finish lines ever because as that 6-hour mark comes, people gather around hoping their person comes through. And it's actually a very exciting grand finale to the race. I enjoy it a lot. But if somebody has a rough day and they're not making the time limit, where do they get picked up, and how does that work?
Yeah, there's 2 places on the course where we have cutoffs. Okay. One is at mile 15.2, and that cutoff is at 10:30 a.m. That's based on a 6-hour finish pace. So 10:30 a.m., if you arrive at 10:31, you're going to be stopped, and there's a bus there that's waiting to drive you to the finish line. The second location is at mile 21.2, so 6 miles further, and that is at 11:50 a.m. Again, that's a 6-hour finish pace. If you arrive at 11:51 or later, then you get on a bus there and you're taken to the finish line. So again, we don't mean to be mean, right, but we have to enforce the time limit, and everybody signed up, agreed to that time limit. But we know things can happen. I've DNF'd some marathons myself. I know that sometimes the best laid plans don't work out. Right. So we're there to get you safely off the highway, because there is no alternative. There's no sidewalk. There's no alternate route. And once the road reopens to regular traffic, it is like a freeway, because there's a pent up demand for people to head down the coast. And it's just not safe. There's no shoulder. It's very narrow, et cetera. So that's why we do everything we can to safely get runners to the finish line at 6 hours or under. And if they're behind that time, then we safely, but firmly provide them alternate transportation to the finish.
And if somebody does not finish this race on their own physical capabilities, do they receive a medal?
Not officially.
Okay. And you know what, folks? Everyone who's watching thinking, oh no, this is why you're working hard. This is why you've been training. This is why it's exciting and so rewarding if you do cross that finish line. And we can attest that the grand majority of our athletes, no matter how fearful or nervous they were at the beginning, do have that yay me moment and cross the finish line. And if this isn't your year, and you try another time and you come back and you're able to know that you actually earn that medal. So again, that poor guy, he states the rules out so clearly every year, 365 days a year, yet on race day, someone who doesn't finish inevitably curses him out and is kind of mean about not getting the medal. So I hope everyone's on the same page with that, because he's a very special guy. That one, don't you think so, Rudy?
Well, he's very special.
He's so sweet.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet of you both to say, but it's for the ability to have this race every year, we have to stick to a time schedule. That's why we got to get the race started on time. That's why we need you to get to the bus locations on time. Everything's connected, right? Everything's connected. And that's what makes this a smooth operating race for 35 years is we ask the runners to just follow simple but firm rules, and then we'll try to put on the best show we can for them.
Yeah, and Bridget Quinn is asking about the Chorale times and the cutoffs. It goes from the final person to cross the start line. That's when that clock starts ticking.
Correct. So some people will say, well, if I'm right at the bubble, why don't I just start in one of the earlier corrals? Well, then that means all the other people have to pass you and go around you. So it's timed well. Start in the wave you're supposed to start at, and everybody will be fine.
Yeah, everyone will be fine. I have full faith in 100% of our athletes this year. They're all going to do it.
We don't usually have to escort too many people off the course. It's not that many people. I mean, it's less than 1/2%. So we're not talking about a major issue. But we don't, I mean, it'd be great if we didn't have to do any of them.
Right. No. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just such a great sense of accomplishment to cross that finish. I think it's exciting to have a limit, and that's why people registered. So they have this grand goal, right, Novotny?
Absolutely. But, it really is a good point. I don't want to beat it to death or anything, but, we're at LA Marathon where everybody's given 6.5 hours, and we're up there at 8.5 hours bringing people in. because of the difference in the dynamics of the course and all those other things. And that's great. We just don't have that option. So, again, as Doug said so well, please understand that and work with us. And we want to see you succeed. It's a real small number that don't make it. And I'm sure it's nobody listening and nobody that's, and it's
and I don't want to throw away medals that we don't use.
No.
I want to put medals. I want our volunteers, won't be me. I want our volunteers to get rid of every medal that we've created. So let's all join in that common goal.
Absolutely. Hey, Doug, people, what I want to encourage everyone to do is stick around for the Finish Line Festival. Don't plan to just go straight home or wherever. Right. It is a fun time, and it's a great group of people, and the camaraderie is pretty special. It's an easy way to meet friends, and this is the best of the best the running community has to offer. So stick around. And then is there the post-race dinner thing we often have?
No, we discontinued that a few years ago. So we used to have what we called a high five party on Sunday night. But what we found was too many people falling asleep at the table. And so we decided we don't have that anymore. So when the race is over, it's over.
Okay.
Except if you're still in town, the merchandise tent at the Finish Village, which closes after 1 o'clock on race day, 1 p.m., will reopen at 10 a.m. on Monday.
Cool. For
a blowout clearance sale, right? So if you're like one of many people who making a vacation out of it, staying Sunday night, come back to the Finish Monday at 10 a.m. from 10 to 2, and it's your last chance to buy merchandise and commemorate your amazing participation in what we hope will be an amazing event for you, the Big Sur Marathon weekend.
Okay, but I'm going to throw out a caveat there, and that is don't expect that item that you really, really, really want is going to be sitting there the next day. You pick it up at the expo because you just never know, and we don't want anybody to be disappointed.
Shop early, shop often.
Exactly. Bring your cards.
Yes.
Bring your cash.
Is there anything else you guys would like to add, Doug?
Well, we really appreciate everyone's patience. There are some COVID protocols we're asking of folks. Everybody should mask up on the buses. I know the masking thing is kind of changes by the hour this week. I understand that, but we're still asking people wear a mask on the bus, wear a mask at the expo.
And that's a request, not a demand.
Well, it's a requirement.
Okay.
It's a requirement. We also will have free COVID testing out in front of the expo on Friday and Saturday. So if it's free. If you want to get tested, we have a team of local healthcare professionals that are happy to provide a free COVID test for you outside the expo during normal expo hours on Friday and Saturday. So that's a couple of things. And one is we just want to say to everyone how happy we are to be back. More than 1,000 days since our last marathon. We're a small nonprofit organization. We haven't been able to give back to the community like we normally do because we haven't had the income that we normally generate from having events. That's how we generate our income, is by putting on races that we turn around and give back to the community as a nonprofit, health and fitness oriented organization. So we're really excited to reseed our community with the funds that this event generates. And we're really excited that everybody plays their part, whether it's the 2,000 local volunteers, whether it's the nearly 10,000 runners, whether it's our vendors, our suppliers, our contractors, our professionals like Fitz and Rudy. We're all part of a big family that are going to try to put on something special for people this year and for many, many years hereafter.
Rudy, is there anything else you would like to add?
Well, if you've already run the Big Sur Marathon or one of the Big Sur events, you already know what I'm going to say is true. If you've read the reviews, all those 5-star reviews, it's all true. It's all true. You are about to participate in one of the most incredible experiences that I believe you will ever have. No, I have not run every marathon. I know Boston Special, there's Berlin and all these other things. there's something about the Big Sur International Marathon that just makes it just hard to describe. You hear the word spiritual.
Yeah.
There's so many adjectives. They all fit. They're all true. And as Doug has already said, we're just really excited about being back, and we want to see that. We want to see that monster smile on your face when you cross the finish line.
That's right. Yeah. And on my part, I mean, it's all about the people. I mean, the course is breathtaking to me. This feels like a luxurious golf tournament weekend. It's just so posh. And so if you're new to this event, you're in for a treat. It'll get in your soul. It's beautiful. And the sea lions will wake you up in the morning, barking at the ocean near the wharf. And it's spectacular. All the blue jackets, the people that are on the board, and the volunteers, they're the most incredible group of people. That's been part of probably the hardest thing of this world shutting down, is being apart from our Big Sur family. So I'm thrilled to be back. And athletes, so Doug is very approachable and friendly. He's got pretty intense work to do. If Rudy and I are walking around, we would love to meet you. We would love to hear your stories. It'll be us and you at those start and finish lines. And the more of you we know, the more opportunity we have to make you feel special during your race. So please introduce yourself. I especially love hugs and new friends. If you haven't done so already, follow Big Sur Marathon on Instagram. Aren't we BSIM on Instagram, Doug?
Or Big Sur events or something. But just search for us. You'll find us.
Find us.
Sorry.
Our race weekend hashtag is #Big Sur Marathon, correct?
Oh, I don't know, Fitz.
God. Okay.
It's not my department.
I'm Hillary is probably.
It probably is. It probably is that.
We're going to go #Big Sur Marathon.
BSIM events. Our Instagram is BSIM events.
Okay. BSIM. That's Big Sur International Marathon. So you can get that. And then the #Big Sur Marathon, whether you're running the 5K, 12K, 11 mile, or 21, use that hashtag when you upload your proud photos. That creates a family photo album. And not only when you search the hashtag will you see everyone's photos, but we can reshare your images, which we love to do. We love bragging about our athletes and their accomplishments. So yeah, Big Sur on Instagram and on Facebook. Rudy, where can people find you on social media if they want to follow you?
Find me on Facebook. I'm a Facebook kind of guy. I have an Instagram account that we all know I don't use. So follow me on Facebook. I love making new friends, and I'm always available to chat. So love seeing you all, and can't wait to get onto the Monterey Peninsula.
Absolutely.
Well, one more thing, Fitz. If I have just a minor correction to something you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
Which is I love to meet everybody too. I mean, this is my full-time job.
Yeah.
Putting on these races. So I shouldn't be that crazy on race weekend if I've done my job well. So I'm pretty easy to spot.
You are.
So
6'5",
if you're in the expo,
correct?
If you're in the expo or at the start line or the finish line, and just ask one of the other Blue Jackets, is Doug Thurston around? Is that guy around somewhere? Because I'd like to meet you too. I want to hear your story about what brought you to the Big Sur Marathon starting line or one of our other distances, how you've survived the last 3 years without us, because we've certainly missed you. So I'd like to think I'm approachable, Fitz.
You are very approachable.
So I don't bite. I don't bite. I promise.
You're the race director guy. There's always someone like, hey, Doug, I need you to do this. What's going on?
Do they talk like that? Do they have
a East Coast
accent? Okay.
No, the people asking you questions all have kind of like Popeye accents.
That's why we're here. You know why we're here, Fitz? We make dreams come true. That's why we're here. So our dream is to make people come true. And you can buy a pasta dinner ticket on your Haku account at the expo, at the pasta dinner table, or at the door, if seats are still available.
What about that?
Thank you, Ashley. Actually, I'm actually getting on a flight to Europe on the Wednesday after the race, so I don't take Monday off. There's too much housekeeping work to do. But thank you, Ashley. I appreciate the sentiments. I wish I could.
You cannot. And Tuesday night, we will all be back together doing a post-race recap. So all of the wonderful things that go on this weekend, we're going to gush about them 1 week from tonight. Okay. So you guys, you have done a great job. I'm going to kick you all out. Someone's got to go to bed here. I'm in Florida. Do you know what time it is?
It's bedtime.
It's almost 10:30. Past my bedtime. Oh, and I didn't get to say, folks, I'm at Fitzness, and it's nice to have followers and stuff, but I'd much rather have friends. So reach out, introduce yourself, click follow, and then say, hi, I'm running Big Sur. Let's have a hug somewhere. A hug. I demand hugs. It's a requirement, right?
Well, I hope the many people who listen to this tonight will join us again on Tuesday, and we get to not only recap it, the three of us, but also we want to hear in the comment section. We want to hear some experiences, positive experiences, right? We don't want to hear about anything bad.
Don't
yeah,
share.
Exactly. We want to hear the stories, and we hope that we make your dream come true.
Yeah, it's going to be special. I'm so excited about it. So guys, 3 days, and then we all get to finally be back together for
See you
work.
soon.
Love you all. Everyone have a great night. See you in Monterey.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.